Hey everyone, how's it going? Luke from A Taste of AZ podcast. Today, we have Chef Nick LaRosa of Nook Kitchen in Arcadia and a handful of other restaurants around the valley. His food is incredible, he's been on Chopped, and he's got an awesome story to tell. Let's jump into it.
Our guest is Nick LaRosa, badass chef, Chopped champion, right?
Chopped champion, yes,
Chopped
sir.
champion, the man behind some of our favorite Arizona restaurants, and just a cool dude. Like that's I would say that needs to go at the top of your LinkedIn profile.
well,
just a
thanks,
cool
thanks,
dude.
bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And I see we have the same barber now. Like,
dude, you will.
quarantine crew, bro. Quarantine crew.
Was it not like that before? Was it?
No, I basically gave myself I had it, pretty long. It was like, I don't know, a couple inches on the top, and I'd comb or whatever.
Yeah.
But I gave myself a fade, and it actually looked good for like 2 weeks, and then like, dude, the third week was rugged. I was like, all right, this is not cool. So I just took it all off, and I was like, it's awesome getting out of the shower. Like you just give it a once over and you're done. Like it's fantastic. And it's hot.
Yeah.
It's getting hot. So it's like, it's beautiful. But
dude,
I saw the Chrome Dome, and I'm like, there's another dented cue ball right there for me. Like,
yeah, dude, I actually like
Scars.
mine is pretty pristine, man. Like mine was meant to be shaved, but dude, what's funny is this is less than an hour old. Like I just did this. Yeah. So,
mine's like a week and a half. So mine's starting to grow in now, which is, it's getting kind of scraggly around the ears and everything.
decision time, man. Decision time,
like,
right?
either do it again or just let it grow out and wait for my hairdresser to open up and be able to cut me, or my barber actually.
Yeah.
But I'll say.
So Nick, you're at Nook right now. Is that where?
Yeah.
Where you at? Okay.
I'm at my it's like 38th or like almost 40th and Indian School location.
Gotcha. And
So
you
I'm
bounce
here right now.
You bounce around because well, tell us about Blueprint Hospitality.
Well, Blueprint, we have we're obviously a hospitality group. We have 5 locations, different concepts. One is called The Bar, which is more of like a beer house, pub grub style, food, wings off the meter. And then we have Dilly Dally. It's like I think it's the 3rd longest running dive bars in Arizona.
Nice, man.
So we have Dilly Dally, and that's been a staple fare for Arizona since like 62, I think it was. So we've had that for a few years. And then we have Nook in Arcadia, which we just moved to down the street to the old, it was High Dive for a while. Before that, it was Yacht Club. And before that, it was, there was an Italian restaurant. I think it was called, I forget the name of it. I don't remember. I can't think of it.
You don't remember on purpose. You're Italian. You're taking it personally.
It'll come to me. I don't know. But like, it was funny because the owner of that spot came in here opening night, and she like gave us her blessing and gave us a couple lemon patries, and it was really cool. But I forget the name of the restaurant. Anyway,
we'll voiceover. We'll improvise and voiceover. Yeah.
and then we have Nook downtown. That's at Central and Monroe in the Hilton Garden Inn, and that's was a beautiful spot, still is, but it's taking a beating right now because travel is cut out. There's no travel, and that place is really, really travel oriented. I mean, events, conferences, concerts, whatever the case may be. That's where we get all our business from. So there's not many people that live downtown right now, and there's a couple high rises, and there's places popping up in the next few years. I think in the next 5 years, downtown is going to be stellar. But right now, it's that's definitely a struggle. But we got that spot as well. So that's Blueprint. Oh, and then we have Break Room. I totally forgot about Break Room. That's at 40th.
Dude, you're forgetting about spots you have. Like you got
40th,
44th
and 44th and McDowell.
Yeah.
It's a roughneck area. It's a cool spot. A lot of pool, a lot of billiards, which is definitely fun. And then we have that spot as well.
Yeah.
So that's Blueprint now in a nutshell.
Nice, man. Well, that wraps it up then. All right, Nick, thanks for talking with us. Well, where did it start?
That was easy.
Yeah, right, dude. You were sweating. You were waiting for the hard questions, man. Well, no. So go. Like, I've read about you. Your background. Family huge on food, always, right? Like, it was a huge part of your growing up. Is that right?
Oh, of course. Italian family, Sicilian background. We're always always in the kitchen. I mean, I say this on like basically every interview, and the story hasn't changed. Growing up, I was a fat kid. You know, my grandmother, my cousins, and my uncles used to call me Pajuch. He's a little fat one. So I was always in the kitchen. You know, I'm always eating everything, and that's where my love for food came, and it just transgressed into a career for me, which is cool.
Have you ever heard the comedian Sebastian Maniscalco? You ever heard?
I have, actually. I've seen one of his shows on Netflix, I believe.
Okay, yeah, Italian dude. He's Sicilian, and
Yeah,
he's just
funny.
He's great. He talks about he's like, yeah, I thought my grandma just was somebody that lived in the basement and made pasta and sauce the whole time. Like that's just what he's like. Everywhere you turned, there was food. But so my grandmother's Italian too, and that was the thing. Like she was like trying the more I ate, the happier
they got down. Yeah, they got down. Every time I see her, she'd grab me, she'd give me one of these, and then she'd be like, "You're skinny," and then smack me and go eat something. Like she's always giving me cookies and stuff, and it turned out I was a fat kid. And I was like 7 years old. I was like 85 pounds. Like they just couldn't stop feeding me. Like it was crazy.
So when did it turn into the cooking side? Like not just the consumption aspect of it, but like you starting to do some things in the kitchen?
I think when I was relatively young, I think it was like 8, 9, 10. Thanksgivings and parties, and we'd have gatherings and family functions and whatnot. Dude, I was always cooking. So it's like the love was always there. And I think I had knife skills early. I remember I was in like junior high and I was buying Garmager books, and I was doing the hell is it, like geese out of like squash and doing apple birds and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
like the smoke out of, or just
no, that was later. That was like an avocado, a toilet paper roll, and a corkscrew. You know what I mean? But that was later. I was high school.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I just think the love's always been there, and I guess my skill set. I mean, from being in high school and going into home ec. I mean, those was when they had home ec in high school. I don't think they have it now.
No, I don't think so.
My teachers were always like, "Dude, you need to go to culinary school. You need to go to culinary school." And I had this one teacher. I'll never forget. Her name was Miss Demon, and she would always Demon, and she was at Sulington High School in Connecticut, and she would always push me pamphlets for like CIA or Johnson & Wales. And though, when I was 96, 97, those culinary schools were back and forth for the top in the nation. So it's like every year it would go back and forth. It would be CIA Hyde Park, or it would be Johnson & Wales and Providence. And so I ended up going to Providence a few years after graduation. But my cousin opened a bar, and I worked that, and kind of wet my beak a little bit with setting up a menu and setting up a kitchen and doing ordering and doing my own mise en place and all that good stuff. And this was before I even knew what the fuck mise en place was. I mean, I didn't know what mise en place was, which is, everything in its place. You kind of learn that in culinary school, and you learn that in finer dining places. And now it's like common knowledge because everybody's a foodie. So
that is so true. Everyone is.
But
everyone knows as much as you do, especially people that write about it. Right.
Sometimes they know more, which is kind of intimidating. And it's like, dude, this person's coming in. It's like everything's got to be perfect. Yeah. And like you start going through like old vocabulary lists, and like, what are they going to spring you with? Are they going to hit you with a noun or a verb that you don't remember or know? So you're always on your toes, man. It's a stressful industry, right?
Yeah. So you. I don't mean to jump around, but you were talking about being a stressful industry, and I wanted to ask this because I think when we talked at Helton, you said you have twins. Is that right?
I do.
Yeah.
They're little animals, like kids. Do you have kids?
I do. I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, 2 girls. Yeah.
I got twin 6-year-olds. They're
boys
beasts.
or girls?
2 boys.
Oh, dude, you are.
Dude, you know how I woke up today? Like they're jumping on me. They've been playing Lego Marvel superheroes.
Yeah.
Because they got them like an old Xbox 360. So it's like I'm bringing them up. Like I'm bringing them up properly. They had the throwback NES, and then they got the Super NES. Awesome. Yeah. And then they love Mario and Luigi and all that stuff. And then now I got them on the Xbox, and then I'm gonna get them over to PS3, and then PS4, and then they'll go their own way and do what they want to do. But right now they're at Lego Marvels, dude, and it's like. Everything is about, Dad, I got new guy, and Dad, we got Stan Lee, and Dad, we found Abomination, and we got this gold brick. And it's like half of the stuff I didn't even understand what the hell they were talking about at first. And then I started watching them play the game, and I'm like, all right, it's so frustrating because I mean they're 6 years old. But dude, they're like, they've already beat the game. Like they beat the game in like a week, and it's insane. Like it's so much fun to watch them, and their energy level they're crazy, bro. Like they're awesome, man. Kids are amazing.
Dude, my 6-year-old and 8-year-old, they have the energy, but like not like boys. Like they chill a lot. Like my 8-year-old, she reads a lot. We've got friends that have boys, and the boys come in just like freaking like WWF style. Oh, dude, just ready to break everything. Like just
I got up this morning, and one of my sons, Corrado, has a splint on his middle finger with popsicle sticks because him and his brother were fighting, and he got hit with a toy. I think it was like a fire engine or something, but he's got a little bit of cut on it, and it's got a little swollen. So my wife, Mickey Moused a splint out of popsicle sticks and taped it up for him. So it's like, it's roughhousing, man. They're animals. Like, boys are crazy. Like I had no idea what I was getting into when we had kids. So it's fun.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. That's the reason I brought that up, because like being in charge of a kitchen, like just being, like you said, being in the restaurant industry, food and beverage anyway, is just a bitch. Right. But now it's even tougher. What is tougher, like running a restaurant or dealing with 2 6-year-old animals that have no fear or
well, I'm the cool parent. Like I hate to say it, but I'm the cool parent. I'm like, Dad, let's go play, and like, Dad, pull me, and Dad, let's do this. Dad, throw me around. Like I'm the cool parent. My wife is the warden. Okay. She's the warden, and she's the school principal. So she takes care of like all the school stuff. Even when they were in school, like she's amazing. She does an amazing job with these kids, and they're in kindergarten, and every day, Monday through Thursday, she's doing homework with them for like 2.5 hours every day. And it's like, God bless you, because I don't have the patience for it. Like that's why I hate baking, is because I don't have the patience for it. So she takes care of that. And, I would say definitely kitchen's a lot harder than, being the mean parent, I guess. Yeah. Just because I don't have to do it. Awesome.
Lucky.
She hates me for it too, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's great, man. Well, what is it about? Because I mean, restaurants are just notorious for that, right? Even if you're not in the industry or never worked in the industry, you know that industry is a tough one. Why is it? Like, what is it that creates that difficulty?
I think it's probably, there's so many standards. I mean, you have your cleanliness, and then flavor profiles, and you're trying to harness all these different things to get it to a guest for them to have an amazing experience and talk about it. So like people that can't follow directions and don't have hand-eye coordination, or don't have the skill set, or don't have the knowledge, it's kind of hard to get something that's in your head out onto a plate through a bunch of different channels. So that's hard. And then you have, cleanliness, and it's like, guys, fucking clean your station at the end of the shift. Like, what the hell's going on? You come in and it's not clean. And then you have ordering. And then you have coronavirus now. So everybody is, wigging out and, wearing masks, and we're wearing gloves. And it's like, I have a feeling it's going to get to the point where everybody's going to be wearing the gurneys or whatever, the gowns that the medical professionals wear. Hazmat suits, right? They have goggles and fucking face shields and all sorts of crap, like making spaghetti. Like,
I'll split this. I'll see. I have an idea of something, and we'll do it 50-50. My idea, you run this thing, but we have a restaurant where that is the theme, where you have to wear hazmat suits, right? And that's, expect it, right? You expect it, and all right, it's clean, and there's some risk with it, so that makes it exciting, right? But as I was talking through, I realized how bad of an idea that was. So,
and you just have like a small vial of Ebola, like in the cooler in the back. Says do not open.
It's glowing green. Like we could figure that out. We could figure that out. Yeah.
Plutonium or something. Like, it's awesome.
Might as well make it one of the restaurants where all the lights are off as well, so it's purely a sensory experience in hazmat suits.
That would be cool, actually. If you had like night goggles or something, and that's the only way you can see. You have to, so everything's like green. Like, that'd be sick, actually. You have to use your senses, taste and smell. That'd be cool, actually.
Yeah, Dude, I tell you what, man, I got some real dumb ideas, but they blossom into beautiful flowers sometimes. So
Heck yeah, man. That's how I think. I think half of my menus, come from that. Is just dumb ideas, just throwing it around, and next thing you know, they're bangers. Like, it's cool. It's funny.
How do you do that? Like, so how do you go from like being classically trained and technical to the umpteenth level, yet also then like bringing in that just I don't know. I want to say whimsical,
Creativity.
but that's I say whimsical. That's not the right word for you, Nick. Creativity,
Well,
yes.
To be classically, people say they're classically trained all the time. It's kind of comical because culinary school is like an icebreaker, and it's all it is a door opener to get you into a place where you can actually learn some stuff. They teach you, the basics of knife cuts and stocks and sauces, and you learn your 6 mother sauces, and some people say there's 5 mother sauces, and whatever the case may be. But you learn these things, and you just scratch the surface on it. And then, when I was in culinary school, we had like international cuisine. So they would break up into segments, and then you would have like Asian cuisine, and then you would have like European cuisine, and then you would have classic French, and then you'd have all this. But dude, you're only in class for like 5-6 days. Like, it's not like you took like a whole semester on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
you weren't learning Escoffier's, notebook from page to page. So that's the thing about culinary school and being classically trained is that you just scratch the surface. You learn all your experience by getting the experience by working for a badass chef or learning on your own. Personally myself, I worked for a couple cool chefs. They weren't like uber famous, but they knew some stuff, and you take a little piece from every place that you work, and that's turns you into yourself. I mean, that's who you are. And myself, I mean, I've learned a lot from reading and doing research on things. And dude, my cookbook arsenal is ridiculous. Like, I've got hundreds of cookbooks, and I'm constantly just, for inspiration, I just rifle through them and say, "Ooh, I like this," and I'll change that and change the ingredients a little bit and make it my own. And that's basically what I do. Where I see something that I like, or I have flavor profiles I know that go really well together. They just come out, man. You just put it on a plate, and it's hard to get the plate presentations the way you want them, because sometimes like you can have all the components and the flavor profiles and everything tastes great, but it just doesn't look cool, and that's the problem. Yeah. So you have to mess around with stuff. So you're dehydrating stuff, and you're baking stuff, and you're making twills and doing stupid, crazy things, and emulsifications and gelays, and then you start getting really technical and stuff, and then it gets really difficult because you have to duplicate that with people that don't know their ass from their elbow. So it's like, how do you make an elbow, or how do you make a gelée or like hot sauce caviar with somebody that doesn't know how to fucking make a chicken stock? Like, so it's like you have to train everything and teach everybody everything. So that's another reason why it's so stressful in the restaurant industry, because people don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would think that commitment level comes in, right? Like, this is you guys, you're fighting for something. This is what your dream is, right? Is to do this. And some other people are just like, I'm here for a job, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just show up because they need tortilla money. You know what I mean? And then they're out the door. They don't care.
Yeah.
They learn a little bit, and then they take off. But I mean, I made a decision a long time ago that this was going to be my life and this is going to be my career. So I take it really serious. So.
So you go to culinary school, and after that, and where did you go? Where did you grow up, and where did you go to culinary school?
I'm a Connecticut native.
Okay.
Born and raised. I left there, I think, in 2004. I moved to Arizona in 2004, right after the Red Sox won the World Series.
That's it. I'm out.
Yeah. I was like, the curse is over. I'm out.
Yeah.
I went to Johnson & Wales in Providence, Rhode Island. I was there for 4 years, got 2 degrees, worked out at a country club in Cape Cod for 4 summers for a guy named Paul Fireman. He owned Reebok at the time.
Oh, shit.
And it was dope. Like, it was actually really cool. I learned a lot of cool stuff. My chef there was Paul Cunningham, and apparently he worked for Daniel Boulud back in the day, but wasn't one of his famous proteges, I guess.
Okay.
He went to the private sector and ran a country club, but dude, it was insane. I mean, we had members coming in, flying in on a helicopter, landing, getting a hot dog, and taking off during like a a golf tournament. Like it was insane. Like cheese flown in from France, and we're going down to the docks picking up bluefish and lobsters every week, and it was really cool, man. Like it was that was where I understood where there was FU money. I really got an idea that there was FU money out there when Maserati's doing test drives every Friday night at the clam bakes, and for members. Because dude, to be a member, you had to pay like I think it was like $400,000 a year just to be a member.
Dude, that's crazy. It comes with nothing. Comes with nothing. No.
Dude, you want the pool? You want to go swimming? Another $25,000. You want to use a tennis court? Another $20,000. Like it was insane.
Oh, you got to pay for the key too. The key is $100,000. Yeah.
FU money.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Like so, it kind of opened up my eyes to that, and it was pretty cool. I mean, dude, but it was great. I mean, we had superstars coming in all the time. The owner of the Patriots, Bob Kraft, used to come in all the time, and I met Bobby Orr there. I met Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning hit me with a bullet. He literally rifled a football at me to hit me in the chest, and I had a bruise for like 2 weeks. But I met so many people, dude. It was so cool, and like it was a great experience, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of hard work, and and then it dies. Yeah. Cape Cod dies in the wintertime, so it's like everybody leaves. And then I did that for 4 years, and then I was like, all right, what am I going to do now? I was in my last season, my senior year, and I was like, all right, okay, I'm just going to go to Arizona.
Why Arizona?
Can't shovel sunshine.
That's right. That's right. But why not like New Mexico, or why not like Southern California? Like why specifically Arizona?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You were just driving, car broke down, like, this is it.
No. Well,
throw your tent out the door. And
to be quite honest, my mother had moved out here like 2 years prior.
Okay.
So she was like, come out here. And she was like, just try it. And then she's like, you're close to California if you want to go to California, or if you want to go to Washington, or you want to go whatever. She's like, just come out and try it. So I tried it for, a year. And I fell in love. I love it. Like it's awesome.
When did you move here?
I moved 2004.
2004. Okay.
Had you never been to Arizona even to visit before then?
Nope. I only seen pictures, man. Pictures. That's it. It was what's that movie with Nicolas Cage? Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That
was like the only reference that I had for Arizona.
Yeah. I was the same, man. I moved here in 2007. No idea my buddy whose dad lives out here was like, yeah, dude, it's just like they took a city and they just dropped it in the middle of the desert. I'm like, and then I look at the map and I'm like, you see the map of it and you're like, yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But same, man, I fell in love with this place like pretty much immediately. And, it's so where did you start so you moved out here 2004, where did the food thing go from there?
I basically had made enough money in Cape Cod to chill and relax, so I went to Vegas a few times and went to Flagstaff and went to I think it was Bisbee, and I bopped around Arizona. I still haven't gone to the Grand Canyon yet, which is so weird. But
you drive past it like I'm not looking
later. Went to the Hoover Dam a couple times. So I traveled a little bit, tried to experience. Went to Tombstone and did all the touristy things, and did that for like 4 or 5 months, and then I started looking for a job. I ended up getting a job for a concessions company at the airport. I was HMS host. And I was with them for almost 9 years. Okay. Traveled, started off, I went to the dark side and I went to the front of the house for, the first few years. And then I started to get back into a culinary role. My bosses were like, oh, this kid's got, some culinary experience, like back of the house is his forte. So I ended up helping them write their training manual for their nationwide training manual. And then when Host did a transformation in Phoenix where they opened up local brands at the airport, so like LGO and Cowboy Chow and Barrio Cafe. Yep. They all opened up at the airport, and that was huge for here because Phoenix was like one of the first cities to actually do that nationwide, and then basically everybody else followed suit. So like Denver started doing it, and then Miami, and all these places started getting local flavor because that was the trend. Get rid of the Burger Kings and the McDonald's and all that crap. So they started getting local flair. And then I actually opened up all those restaurants with Gio Oso. So Gio Oso I guess after a state house, I had no idea who he was. After a state house came to HMS Host as the executive chef, and worked with LGO and Sam Fox and all these guys, and got their brands and helped implement all their standards at the airport. So I did that, and then after that,
so when you say
Host.
Real quick, I want to ask you this. So when you say
Sure.
you went to the dark side, front of house, meaning like leadership,
Yeah.
like management, like you were leadership in front of the house, or what do you mean by that?
I went to an assistant manager's position for basically front of house. So I was suited and booted with, Dockers and ties and button down shirts. And I hated every second of it.
Yeah. Why? Why did you do that?
It was kind of hard to get a job, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I didn't really know too much about like some of the restaurant scene. So I really didn't know who the heavy hitters were in Arizona. I applied everywhere, man, like, corporate places. And then it got to the point where I couldn't even get a job as a dishwasher at was it hometown buffet or whatever it was. Like, they wouldn't even hire me at hometown buffet as a dishwasher. I'm like, I'll do prep and dishes. I don't care.
They call the police on at your like interview, like, this guy's horrible. Like, get him out. No dishwasher. Call the police on him.
It was so bad. Like, I couldn't get a job. And then I ended up going to the dark side at Host. But I mean, it started me off, decently, decent salary. I think I was making like 32 grand or something. Yeah. And then I worked my way up, man, 9 years. And next thing you know, I'm traveling the country and helping them write their manual. And I'm going to Hawaii for foodborne illness breakouts and helping them figure out their scene out there. And dude, I just did so much stuff. It was cool. Like, it was a great experience.
That's badass, man. And
it was cool.
Where does it turn then to like, hey, I'm gonna do my own thing?
Gio ended up leaving Host, and he was like best friends with my partner Frank. And Frank was like, we're moving our restaurant. He had a restaurant up in Cave Creek called Amaro, and they ended up selling it, and they wanted to move Central Valley. So we moved to 36th Street Indian School. And that's basically how we got started. So Gio introduced me to Frank, and Frank was like, this is what we want to do. This is, our kind of menu. He's like, you're Italian. We want to have Italian influence. This should be a no-brainer. So he's like, you got $100, go buy some stuff, make me some food. And I was like, all right, cool. So made a couple of bruschettas, made a couple entrees, a couple salads, and like they tasted like the second thing that I made. I think it was like an olive tapenade or something. And they're like, all right, we don't need to taste anything else. They're like, we want you. What do we got to do? So we just started talking numbers. And then I wasn't even an owner right out of the gate, but all the recipes and everything were mine except their dough recipe. So the pizza dough recipe is my partner Frank's from his old restaurant. And then I ended up changing the sauce recipe and because I didn't like it. And then everything after that was mine. So that was basically the start. A year later, I became a partner owner, and then it just grew, man. Now I'm a part owner on everything. And we actually had one of our investors was like, hey, let's go look at a spot that's available right now. And I'm like, dude, like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah. Nobody's friggin', restaurants are dying left and right. You want to go look at a space. I'm like, so it's like, opportunities I think are always going to be there for us. I mean, we're proven operators. I think we do a really good job. And the food's pretty good, I think. People seem to like the food, which is cool. Not as busy as we'd like to be, but I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We can't bitch and moan about that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know about you, Luke, but I was going to say, I thought he was going to give us the pizza dough recipe. Like, he got kind of quiet and he was I'm like, what, dude, for real? Like, no, didn't happen.
Dude, actually during quarantine, I've actually been messing around with some different recipes using sourdough starters and a lot of fermentation to get, better flavor. And I don't know if restaurants don't bounce back. I told my partner, Frank, I'm like, hey, we're going to close everything up. I'm going to build a mobile pizza oven. I'm just going to do pop-ups all over the state. So he's like, dude, he's like, let's do it. Maybe I should have said that because that's probably what people are going to start doing now. I know. People are going to be popping up everywhere.
Yeah. So, well, dude, that's Mike's. Have you had Mike's Pizza out of Cider Core?
I haven't had it yet. I know Donald Hawk goes over there, pretty frequently.
Yeah.
So I see his posts and whatnot. It's pretty good. Gio just actually opened up Virtu Pizzeria today. Tonight's the first night for that. So that's pretty cool. I haven't even had his pizza yet. So it's like just with kids and work, it's tough, man. It's tough to go out. And then I live in the West Side, so my commute is really, really far.
Yeah, I'm the same, man. I'm up north, so it's like, damn, man, I really want to go there, but that's like half my day just driving.
Right? And then you want to have you want to have a couple pops, and it's like, dude, am I gonna take an Uber like from here to 83rd and Cactus? Like, it's like a $50 Uber ride.
My wife's like, how much was your tab? I'm like, $60. She's like, 60. I'm like, I only had 2 ciders, but it was, $50 for the Uber ride.
Yeah, it's like 25 at off peak, right? And then it's like $60 on high peak when it's 11, 12 o'clock at night if you stay out that late.
Yeah. So now I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So I was going to ask you about Chopped, right? So that was really interesting when we did that. When you guys did the beer with Helton and we came to the podcast, everybody there had been on Chopped, right?
Right.
And it's really cool hearing the stories about like people's like, Jesus Christ, like that was just like Rochelle from Fat Ox. I think she was outside for her episode and it was like freezing cold or something. But what is that experience like?
If anybody ever said Chopped was easy, they're fucking lying.
Yeah,
because that was the most stressful thing I think I probably had to go through, and I had to do it twice. The first time you're studying for a test that you don't know the questions to, so it's really, really hard. You don't know who your judges are going to be. You don't know what food you're going to get. You don't know who you're going up against, and that's really stressful. You try not to think about it, but it bothers you. You're flying in. You're in a different part of the country where you really don't know unless you're from New York and you know the boroughs. You're staying at a hotel. I mean, you have to get up early. You're not sleeping because you're nervous about going on TV the next day. So it was hard. I went to 11 Madison Park the night before I filmed my first episode of Chopped, and I started to get sick. Like I wasn't feeling well. Like I was starting to get a headache. My nose was all stuffed up. And by the time this is night before, like not drinking at all. Like I think I drank like a hot toddy to help me fall asleep before we left.
That's serious. That's serious. Like when you pull out the hot toddies, man.
Dude, I was fucking miserable, man. And I could barely taste the food that I got at 11 Madison Park. And this was in 2000. Shit, what year was it? 2017.
Okay.
When we filmed, and EMP was #1 in the world. They had just reopened from their refurbish, whatever they did a whole overhaul, and they just reopened. They were only open for a couple months. So my partner Frank was friends with their sommelier, or one of their somms, and he got us in there, which is awesome, dude. Like, we didn't even charge us. Like, they were so dope.
Damn.
Like they're like, your money's no good here. They're like, good luck tomorrow at Food Network. We're like, yeah. I was like, I'm here. I'm filming something for Food Network, and they're like, oh, amazing. And then they took us in the kitchen and did like a tour and got a bite. Dude, it was awesome. Like, it was intense. But
you couldn't taste any of the food,
dude. My taste buds are all jacked up. I'm eating fucking coldies and cough drops and stuff because like I wanted to clear up my nose. And so, dude, I didn't sleep. Like, I didn't sleep the night before. I got like maybe 45 minutes. I took like 3 showers at the hotel to try to open up my sinuses. I get to the place. We met at like a McDonald's at like 6 a.m.
That's where Chopped starts, is at a McDonald's parking lot.
It's McDonald's in some ghetto neighborhood like in New York. Like, it was crazy. But I started, really bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning, and then you're in it, man.
Yeah.
They pat you down, they check your pockets, they take your phone. You're allowed, I think it was like 7 knives. And then, you can't go to the bathroom without somebody, escorting you, and you can't walk around and you can't do anything. And dude, they got it down to a science though. I mean, they're filming that whole episode in 1 day.
Yeah.
Like, and it's all editing. I mean, the shit that goes on and things that like the judges say to you, and, the conversations that you talk about half of that stuff's edited, man. And it's like, and it gets cut and they make the episode seem how they want it.
Yeah.
So
and you
like
don't know how it's going to turn out, right?
Nope,
like you don't know where
no
they're going to
idea.
take storylines and
nope, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were going to make me look like a DB, you know what I mean? But like for my second episode, like they had me like doing like punches and stuff. And like, it was just so dumb. Like, I was like, you guys are making me look like a tool. Like, I don't even want to be on this episode. And
this is Nick
like,
from New England. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're a fighter. I'm like, no, I'm not a fighter. Like, I'm not a fighter at all. But it's all editing, man, and it's so cool. And like they beat you up, bro. Like they rip you apart and then they build you back up, which is definitely cool. And they're honest. I mean, like if your food sucks, your food sucks. But if it's good, they tell you it's good.
And they know their shit too, right? I mean, it's
oh
yeah,
they totally know their shit. But again, they know what the ingredients are. So even if they didn't know what the fucking ingredient was, they could sit there, you know, while they're filming our interviews and whatnot in the beginning and look it up and say, oh yeah, this is high in protein and you know, vitamin K. Like who the fuck knows that something's high in vitamin K? Like unless you're like a dietitian, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it was fun. It was definitely a great experience, dude. It was really, really cool. You know, I met Mark Murphy and Alex Goncelli and Chris Santos. They were my judges for the first one. They were really, really cool. And they're brutally honest. Everybody told me too, like after my first episode, they were like, dude, they're like, Chef Alex was so mean to you. And I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, dude, she was like the best out of all of them. Like it was just the editing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the bad comments that she said about things is what they showed. But like all the good comments, like I had like the best dishes out of everybody. And she said like amazing things. But they made me look bad because they didn't want to give it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, it's all editing. They're like, you don't know what's going to happen. So you could have the best 3 dishes and they only pick like the worst things to say. And that's what they show you. Yeah. So that's how they build suspense, I guess.
It is crazy. Well, I don't know if you've talked to Jeff Krause since he finished up since the show finished up. But that's what, like, he said the same thing. Like it was a surprise that like he didn't know Lamar was like the way that they edit it, right? The drama between him and Lamar was just, he's like, dude, that's like genius. Like, you know, they know what the hell they're doing.
They're like, there was no drama at all. Like, we were actually chill, like, you know, hanging out.
Yeah.
And they pit you against each other on TV because you don't know. Like,
and then the music, and then they show their eyes. It's like, oh shit, some shit's going on. Yeah.
It's so funny too. Like, it's funny you say that because like, I remember there was one thing and somebody was talking about like where they were from or something. And like, I did one of these and I looked to the left and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? But I didn't even do that when the person said that. Like they just like clipped it to me, like looking to the left or something. And I was like, what the hell is that? They make me look like a jerk. Like, I don't do that. Like they did
rolling your eyes and
I'm like, oh really? Like this guy's talking about his things. I'm like, oh man, this is funny.
Then they show you and you're fucking hitting meat, like style, punching it.
Right? Yeah. Like it's insane.
So the second one was the one that you won. Is that right? Second?
No, I won the first one. I lost Shop Champions.
Oh, gotcha. Man, I didn't mean to bring that up. Yeah.
It's a wound that I'm still licking.
So what happened so Shop Champions was they bring in winners from previous episodes, tournament of champions. Makes sense now. Yeah.
So that was fun. I mean, I was going against a guy who had just cooked at the James Beard House 2 nights before. And then I was going up against a guy who was on Beat Bobby Flay. And then I was going up against a girl who did like some kind of order delivery barbecue or something, and she won.
Interesting.
It was kind of weird, but that
sounds like some episode. COVID. That sounds like a COVID show. Delivery barbecue.
This is
showdown.
I mean, so she cornered the market on that.
Dude.
I guess she should be cornering the market.
She's a visionary. We need to get back in touch with her. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, dude, like that was a rough episode. I mean, I was nervous to go in there again just because, you know, you're going against, you know, badasses and they already won and their confidence is high. And, you know, you think your confidence is high and you're like, all right, yeah, like I should win this. But you get in there and it's like, all right, now you have like a celebrity judge, a celebrity chef in there. Besides the regular judges, I had Angie Marr from Beatrice Inn in New York, and she was a Chop champion. grand champion, I guess, or whatever. She won like the whole tournament. So she knows her stuff, and she's hooked up with Pat LaFrida and all those guys. So, it's kind of intimidating. And then I had Scott Conant, who obviously has a restaurant here, and you don't know what the hell you're going to get.
Yeah.
But it was a rough go for me. I had a shitty flight. I had a shitty hotel arrangements. Like, I had issues with my cab driver. Like, I almost got into a fight with my cab driver, like going to McDonald's that morning. Like, I just
no, this is still the first McDonald's meetup. All right.
No, you still meet at McDonald's. It's like a prerequisite for Chopped. It's like you meet at McDonald's. Like, oh, you're on Chopped? You went to that McDonald's like before they even open. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, it was just bad, and like my mind wasn't into it, and I was stressed out, and it just didn't pan out for me, man. Like my first dish sucked. I tanked, and then my second dish I came back. I think I represented myself really well, but I made a couple mistakes, and everybody makes mistakes on Chop. It's just the person who makes the least wins.
Sure,
and that's just how it is. So I made more mistakes than everybody else.
Do you think? I'm sure there are beautiful mistakes, Nick. Though, do you think that dude, I'm telling you, I keep getting the vision of myself in this, and I'm like, what? Like, I just look like literally like a cue ball. Because I'm pale, I have no hair.
That's what I said, dude. It's like I'm like a dented cue ball, man. I got scars and like divots in my head.
Oh, man.
My wife was laughing at me. She's like, "Don't ever do that again." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "I won't do it ever again."
My wife likes it. She's like, "Oh, I love it." I'm like, "All right."
Some guys
Dude,
get away
you
with
look
it,
like
man.
my dad, but with like an extra 80 pounds and several inches, and I'm gonna have nightmares for the next few weeks because of it.
You can have dreams about your dad like getting stung by being swelling up, and he just turns into me. It's like,
that's funny.
So I was going to ask you, with you being on it once, do you think that your nerves were higher the second time because you knew how tough it is, like knowing that it's not a freaking walk in the park?
Oh, I knew it was tough, but I mean, it's heightened, man. It's more. I mean, you're going against badasses, and they expect more from you, and they even tell you, bro. They're like, this is Chop Champions. You better bring your fucking game.
Yeah.
And they're like, no messing around. They're like, we want perfection on a plate. And you're like, all right, dude. Like, so it's like they're beating on you. Like, the judges are saying this shit to you. So they're like, come on, guys, step it up. Let's go. Like, like, work with the ingredients. Let's go. I want to see some magic on the plate. It's like, all right. And it's like, fuck. And next thing you know, you're cooking.
Yeah.
And dude, it was like, I felt like I was sabotaged the first round. They gave me the longo pasta. It's like this 3 foot long like ziti.
Yeah.
And it's dried. It's hard as a rock, and you have to like break it. And I felt like, looking back, the pasta water, like the pasta pot where they have like the boiling water, it was only like half full. Like, so I think they only gave me like 3 inches of fucking water in the pot, and they gave me this like 4 foot pasta, and they're like, all right, this guy's got to think on his feet. It's like, you're trying to come up with a dish. Cause dude, I had like cookie butter. It was like cookie butter and like DeLongo pasta and mustard greens and a bunch of shit. It's like, fuck. It's like, what do you do with all this stuff? And you're trying to, make a miracle out of these 4 ingredients that shouldn't go together.
Yeah.
And it's hard, man. It wasn't easy.
So do you not have the ability to like fill up the water yourself? Like everything is pre-made, like pre-prepped type of.
Nah, dude, they got your ovens preheated. They got your pasta water boiling. They clean your station before. It's weird too, because they only have one sink. Like, so if you need to like rinse something off or get ice or something, like they have like one little area for ice, and then they have one sink. So it's like, it's kind of weird. It's janky. It's like a warehouse. No joke. It's like a warehouse. There's no exhaust. Like, there's no exhaust fans in there. You burn something or smoke something out, the whole fucking place like that smells like that for the day. For the rest of the day, it stinks.
Dude,
it's bad.
I picture, like, there's several times the way you've described it, I picture like the tunnel, like on Gladiator, as the gladiators are coming out, right? Or not the gladiators, whoever the people they capture, and they basically throw them to the lions. They don't know what they're going to get, right? The gate's there. You're like chopped. I don't know what's in this basket.
All the slaves and convicts and everybody, all the criminals.
Oh, yeah. And then you got the lions, which are the celebrity judges, and you don't know what they're looking for. And then all of a sudden the cage just opens. You're like, what the fuck?
That's a great analogy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're thinking of Roman times, like, shit. we're definitely food gladiators in there, which is crazy.
Dude, that's awesome, man. So what's up what's next for Nick? And I mean, I know we can't really plan anything at this point. We don't know what's happening, but in that ideal world, what's on the forefront for you guys?
Well, we just want to get everything up and going. We know we're waiting for, the state to open back up fully. And then, we can partially open up the dining rooms, obviously with social distancing and all that BS. We're already mapping out how we're going to do our dining rooms and, figuring out how we're going to configure everything and the flow. And I'm thinking reservations are probably going to be the best key. I don't know if walk-ins are going to be, that busy.
Okay.
You never know though. Bar, we're doing like every 3 bar stools. So it's like you're losing, 70% of your capacity.
Yeah.
Because of the social distancing. And then, just trying to figure that out. And then we got to get our bars open and don't know how that's going to be because typically our bars are smaller. So you're able to pack more people in, but, you're usually shoulder to shoulder or sit next to somebody. And now if you can't do that, like it's like you're going to have 12 people in a bar. Like, and then you're going to say, all right, guys, your hour's up, get the hell out. And then, you got another 12 people coming in.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know how that's going to work, but, we're waiting for Ducey to give us the go ahead to open the bars back up. Right now if you have a 6 license, you can't open up. You can't do anything yet. You can just do to-goes.
6 license?
6 licenses, you don't have to have food.
Oh, so where you can, okay.
You're just slanging booze.
Yeah.
A 12 license is usually like a restaurant where you're able to serve 60-40.
Okay.
Is that what most like brew pubs would be?
What is it?
Like a brewery?
Most brew pubs be like a 12?
I think brew places have to be a 6, I believe, because they usually don't serve food, right?
So like Helton serves food, or like Arizona Wilderness?
Well, they serve food, but I think they're a brewery because they're a distributor. So I think they have to have a 6 license because they have retail.
Okay.
So you can only have retail if you have a 6 license, and that's the big boy license. So right now, like if you have a 6 license, they're worth like $115,000 or something.
Yeah. Shit.
So if you were to buy one, like if you want to open up a bar and just serve cocktails and beer, you got to have a 6 license, and then you're paying $115,000 for that license.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when he opens those up, I think it'll be a little bit better. We'll get our other places, because right now the bars really aren't doing that well. Not many people are like, hey, I'll take 12 cocktails to go, and that's there's not 10 people doing that. You have maybe 1 or 2 people coming in saying, oh, yeah, I'll take a bottle of wine, or I'll take a 6-pack or whatever. So it's like your sales are really, really low in the bars right now, but the restaurants are chugging along, starting to pick up steam, which is cool.
Yeah.
And again, a lot more places are opening up now, which is awesome because that PPE money's coming through. So
yeah, you mentioned something about that, about how your guys were on top of that shit. I talked to the guys from Wilderness, and same thing. They got that loan as well, but they said because their CFO, or was it whatever their guys, COO? What's a COO mean? I'm just thinking out loud.
Chief Operating Officer,
something like that. Yeah,
it would be CFO probably. Yeah.
Anyways, geez, I go off the rails sometimes. But anyways, they said without him we wouldn't have got it, because he knew exactly what to do quickly, accurately. They said it was a really tough paperwork to get through. And
to be quite honest, I mean, it's cool that the government's actually capable of giving those funds. It's a hope, but is it really impacting us? Is it really helping us? Not really. We're all getting paid for the next 7 weeks, which is cool. But for our business, like right now, the break room, my break room place, I'm only able, I think we only got like $6,000 or something for that. Because our payroll is really, really low, but we're still not even open. We're able to do to go, but nobody's ordering draft beer to go. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
yeah.
It's hard, man. It's hard to, my Nooks are doing okay. Downtown's a little slower because there's really not that much foot traffic and people living there. Arcadia is doing, really decent. We're doing decent.
Okay.
We've had a lot of regulars, a lot of support from, the neighborhoods, and people are excited that we're opening in, which is cool. Dude, we're cheap too. I mean, we're offering, 2 for $20 pizzas. I mean, typically we were charging, $12, $13, $14, $15 for pies. granted, my menu's a little smaller now because I'm not trying to have a huge inventory. I'm not trying to have 20 grand on my shelves.
Yeah.
I'm trying to burn through stuff that we had prior and bring in simple, easy stuff. I'm going to start building my menus, making them a little bit more larger, I guess you could say, and doing different things, better family meals, packages, making my own desserts, switching that up. I'm doing like a dirt pie right now. I mean,
Nice.
I made did you know what dirt pie is? It's ground up Oreos with the chocolate mousse.
Yep. People
Like
put like gummy worms in it and shit.
I got a gummy worm in it. So
they look cool. It looks cool, but I'm like, fuck
they're
that.
so awesome. But all my food is it's from scratch. So it's like I made a classic mousse. So I made a meringue out of the egg whites, and then I tempered in the egg yolks into the melted chocolate, and then I made my heavy whipping cream, and I made and it's awesome. Like, it's fucking delicious. But to do that and be able to have the time, which is cool right now because we're really not that busy. So it's like I'm experimenting right now and messing around and writing recipes. And so when we do open up, I'm going to have an arsenal, which hopefully. But right now it's the Nooks are doing okay, and it's growing, man. We're getting stronger, getting better. I got a health inspector coming in today. We're probably going to get to the CDC guidelines, man. Everybody's wearing gowns and shit. And it's going to be crazy.
That is going to be kind of crazy, man.
But yeah, we're moving in the right direction, man. I guess the best we can. And, I hope everybody else is able to, do the best that they can and get through this. And, we're all in it together. And it's a fact that the restaurant industry is taking it the hardest, though, out of everybody.
Sure.
So
what would be the best way for people to support you?
Order some food, buy some cocktails. That's the best way. If you're going to support, come in. We do curbside. If you want to call and order ahead and say, hey, I'll be there at 5:30, have my order ready, we'll have it ready for you. And then, when this whole ban gets lifted, and you're able to come out, we're definitely going to need people to come out. And I know it's going to be suspect, and I think it'll bounce back once there's a vaccine. So once there's a vaccine, everybody's gonna be like, screw it, party on, like, let's go. Like, we're good. Like, we can just go to CVS and get the fucking vaccine. Like, we're straight. But like, until that comes out, dude, everybody's like, nervous. And it's like, I don't want to kill my grandmother, and, my kids got diabetes, and, or, I have diabetes, like, whatever the case may be. Like, people don't want to, I know I wouldn't want to go out if I had high risk. So I think once that happens, it'll get back to normal. But, just support, man. Come out, order some food, even if it's, once a week. Right now, we're only open 5 days, just because it gives us a break, and then I'm not hiring staff to work those days off. I have, my full staff. I have, 5 kitchen guys total, including myself at my Arcadia location. So it's like, to do that and have to get all the prep done and all the cleaning and all the stuff that needs to go along with it. It's kind of hard to do 7 days. But just come out and support, man. That's just the best way to do is just buy food at least once a week. That'd be cool. It's cool. And, people are over tipping, which is nice. It definitely helps out, the staff. So that's always appreciated. And then, just doing it regularly, man. Don't just hit us up once a month. You got to do it quite frequently if you want, the neighborhood spots to survive. That's the key. Because right now we're just stacking paper for after the PPE money runs out. Because then we're on our own. Then we're back to paying rent and utilities and labor, and labor's a killer for small business.
Sure.
That's it's like your biggest cost is labor. So.
And it's your biggest headache in good times, right?
Oh yeah,
labor. Like
in good times, you don't even care about labor. You're like, fuck, dude, we need to hire people. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
But when it's slow, it's like that's like your nemesis is labor, man. It's like labor and food costs. It's like you can't have waste, and you can't have high labor. So right now, we're just, like I said, we're just stocking, trying to save up. So after those 7 weeks, man, we're on our own. And then it's like, okay, hopefully, the ban will be open and we'll have some, more income and more foot traffic. But again, if people are still nervous, man, they're not going out.
Yeah. Well, get out there, support these guys. Then Nick, you're making great food. It makes it easy, right? It makes it easy when you're supporting a business like yourself, and the food is awesome as well, right?
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, if the food's good, I mean, it'll translate into butts and seats, you know, once we get back and going. So, you know, I'm really grateful to have, you know, a good support system and a lot of people helping us out and, you know, coming in every week. It's been great. You know, I'd love to see more. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
You know, but once I think it opens up and we're able to get back after it, I think we'll be okay. And then, you know, you never know what's going to happen in the future. So, I mean, we're already looking at spots now and we're in a fucking pandemic. So I don't know what the hell, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. But
what's up? What's down? Yeah.
I'm talking about drive-thrus. I'm like, dude, we need to find an old like Taco Bell or an old Julio Berto's. One of the Berto's shuts down. Like, let's get a drive-thru and like, let's do something, because I think it's going to be like this. Probably people are going to be suspect for, you know, probably the next couple of years.
Sure.
Just because, you know, God knows if this thing's going to mutate too and turn into COVID-20 or COVID-21 or fucking COVID-22, you know.
Yeah, right.
Shit. Yeah. So, you know, everything's up in the air.
I say you look for an old bank, dude. Imagine getting some freaking pizza rolled up in one of those like banking tubes that just kind of goes down.
Just serving,
once again, I'm telling you, it sounds dumb.
Serving chili Philly cheesesteaks in the fucking air chute. The sun's coming over, like that'd be dope.
Dude, man, I'm telling you.
Dude, that's a fucking great idea, bro.
I know.
You just have to package it. You just have to package it perfectly, because I
Think
think
the burrito thing.
Burritos
Perfect.
too.
Yeah.
The burritos too, dude. Like in the air thing. Do you remember those? The banks?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cartridges, dude. Those are awesome.
You would have to make it like crystal clear, and you would have to do it slow motion so they could see their food coming to them.
Right. Like, it slows down and then just gravity takes it.
Yep. Cool. And they get to look at it. Yeah, man. I'm jotting these down, man. I'm jotting these down. Oh, shit. Well, Nick, dude, always good talking to you, man.
Pleasure, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Keep fighting, dude. Keep fighting, and we'll see you soon. We'll be pounding some beer soon.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Later.
Thanks, guys.
Well, there you have it, guys. Chef Nick LaRosa of Nook Kitchen in Arcadia. Make sure to stop by his restaurant. His Italian food is absolutely incredible. And make sure to follow Nook Kitchen on social media. Also follow A Taste of AZ and visit our website. Make sure to like and subscribe the video below. Thanks for stopping by.